Yes, today, as we start this show, this one mic. We hail echoes throughout the stadium. There is a pause throughout the stadium as this man sounds like he just coughs up a lung. Just looking around, the Jumbotron shows and pans the cheerleaders, and as it goes down each cheerleader's face, each one breaks up into laughter, which at this particular time destroys half the stadium. The other half is still trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Does this guy need CPR or something? And then at that particular time, I lost it. Devon dropped. Yes, today.
Blog Talk Radio.
Start this show, this one mic.
Phoenix is another place. They got a great training staff. They were able to breathe life back into Shaq. And you can do that. People talk a lot about their training staff.
Blog.
Yes, today, as we start this show, this one.
Yes, today, as we start this show, this one mic. Thank you again for joining us here on One Mic. We want to thank our sponsors over here, Bowman Medical Group and Mind Match Development. Thank you for supporting us. Please head on over there to realsportsguys.com and check out all the content. You'll get a chance to hear these two great gentlemen who are joining me on the show and other things that are happening over there. We're trying to, push it up every year, trying to provide a little bit more every year. So, check it out. If you see something you like, like it, give us 5, help us support it. We're the underground. We're moving slow. We like them underground tapes, but we'll get there. And it's like everybody going to say they were there early on. Now, we knew you weren't there early on. We know who's there early on, but that's okay. But this is one mic. This is where we get into it. I'm in the booth with my two compadres, and they're here making it happen. So let's bring them to the stage with us. We'll start with the youngin', man. How you doing, man, over there? You didn't freeze over there. We had them low temperatures. Would you stay warm?
Yeah, you got to stay bundled up. But it's Michigan. Well, up to this point, we had a pretty mild winter, so I can't complain. So we only got snow a few times, so there's nothing to complain about. Just keep it moving.
And then we got my man the Hammer in the building, Chi-Towns, the Windy City, as the great Dr. Phil Bowman over at Michigan would say, the Hawk will put a cap on your head in Chicago. And so I know y'all was feeling it over there.
I mean, we feeling it, but, I grew up in Chicago, so used to live in Wisconsin, so it's not that bad, man. And people complain about it. You complain about it that much, you ain't in the lab doing your thing, man. You should be inside working. You should be outside very little just to get out the car and get to the lab. So, I mean, people outside complaining they outside too long. They need to be thinking about what their priorities are. So,
there's a number of folks who don't have a choice about being outside, and so this.
I'm talking about. I mean, the people who are working like construction. Yeah, I'm not talking about them. Yeah,
but, homeless and whole nine. There's a whole bunch of folks outside. Yeah,
that too. I'm talking about.
I ain't gonna never complain. I ain't gonna never get on nobody about that one.
I hear you.
Yeah. I ain't gonna never get on anybody. Yeah, that stuff is crazy. But we here in the Midwest, we let you know it. But they ain't gonna stop these mics from being hot. We gonna say that. All right, one mic.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple. We have segments here. Our set segments here. We have the open mic. We get into the cipher, then we drop the mic, and so we're gonna get right to the business here. In the open mic, we're gonna start with college football. In this open mic, there's a lot going on. We got that portal life, and I said I was in the group chat with folks, and was alluding that there was something coming, and my boy Hammer was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "What's going on?" I said, "There's something coming." And then it came. It came out. It came out there. Everybody was thinking about, Caleb Williams, who's the big time quarterback at Oklahoma, entered the portal. Obviously everybody got him earmarked going to USC, which probably will happen, but we never know. And then you got LSU, and out of nowhere come those Badgers, and everybody's like, "What? What is going on?" And I got word I had to keep it pretty tight. that this was happening. But it just gives you another twist of, what this portal life off. But I've always said, and we saw a little bit of it with Russell Wilson, and Hammer, this from watching Wisconsin. I said if Wisconsin can get a quarterback that's mobile, going on with that running game and that defense, it creates a whole different set of problems for people. And Russell was just a little snippet of that. And so when I saw this, I was like, woo.
No, it makes a lot of sense though.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense because Chris was OC for Russell, and then he got his first job at Pitt. Sadly, because Hager got fired for that DV incident, but he got his job at Pitt. And then Russell's done well in the league. So a lot of people diss Wisconsin for a place to be, but Russell showed that kind of pro style offense where they're running the ball. First, you're gonna make you're a pro style offense, and also you're be more durable running the ball, and you're gonna be more effective play action. So it makes sense in a sense. So in the Ingram connection with Gonzaga. It'd be a perfect storm. I still think he's going to USC, especially considering that little emoji that Lincoln Riley sent out a couple of days ago. And in fact, they've leaked some student records showing that he's enrolled at USC, but you never know.
Those things you can enroll and drop all.
Yeah, you
do not know that. Yeah. Because all that stuff happens online.
Yeah. That could have been another Caleb. I mean, USC's a big school. Could have been another Caleb Williams, who's white with blonde hair. You don't know, blue eyes. And
Beverly Hills High School.
5'3", 120. Couldn't play.
If
Football.
he could play though, if he could play, then Youngin would know about it, because that cat know about everybody out there. I'm like, who are you talking about?
Yeah,
like,
you know about everybody.
So I know you and I talked a little bit offline, and you said you heard the chatter a little while back, and you thought you didn't know if this was really true, and then you saw my little cryptic stuff, and it was like, but just I'll frame it in a different way. One of the things I was talking to Darnell about, I just love to give you an opinion on this. People don't know how difficult the transfer portal process is in between the fall and spring semester. Hammer, you know this, and Darnell and I was talking about that, and just the fact that is the 15th is the first time you can actually start to have contact, even have somebody on campus. You have different kinds of semesters. I mean, it's a wild, wild west. And as someone, Darnell, like you've been covering and trying to track, what's going on, what has it been like when you're just trying to track all this stuff? And what things do you try to do to try to give yourself a sense of what you think is going to happen in some of these spaces? Like, how have you been trying to make sense of this?
Well, some of the things you got to you got to read through the lines. Like, it's like with the Caleb Williams thing. I was here in Wisconsin a week or so ago, but a lot of the movement was saying USC because because Jackson Dart when he transferred out, because he's a promising young freshman from last year that he got some time once Keaton Slovis was underperforming, and I like Jackson Dart as a talent, but and I think he and Lincoln Riley could have done something, if Caleb Williams wasn't coming, but now that Jackson Dart is in the transfer portal, that it kind of shows you like, okay, something else is going on that we haven't. There's other moves being made that we haven't seen just yet. Mm-hmm. And the obvious move would be Caleb Williams, but we haven't. It's not official yet. But like you said about the actual structure of the schools, of the timing of it, because some schools have trimesters, some schools have semesters, and other schools on top of that they have other schools are on the quarter system, and if you're on the quarter system, it makes it even easier, to kind of get transfers in later. So that's an interesting thing to look at. I think Ole Miss is on the quarter system, and it kind of that kind of helps them to get transfers later on in the process, because they can give them a little more time to make the decision. Yeah. And that's something.
And Dart went there, right? That's why I just read Dart's going there.
What, today?
That's what I just read. Yeah, I read that today.
Yeah, I just woke up. I took
yeah, look at
folks out there. Darnell does sleep. He does sleep. He's not trying to all all the different things. Yeah, I think you're right. And and the other part about this is someone who has to look at this closely in my other work. This also has to be coupled with very tight time to degree requirements for athletes that people don't think about. There's a lot going behind the scenes, and so there are certain points where these athletes have to declare majors, and that gets to be complicated depending on the degree requirements. And so there's a whole bunch of pieces that come together in this. I think people just think folks just jump. There's a lot of work that has to go behind the scenes to make this stuff line up for some of these athletes, particularly athletes who are a little bit later, in their degree program and have to think through. I mean, the NCAA, the school doesn't have this, but the NCAA has requirements of where they need to be in the time to degree path. And so, that becomes part of the calculation in terms of how they have to set up some of these things as well. So, this stuff, it becomes real challenge from the from the fall to the spring. Not as much of a challenge, obviously, if somebody, if there was a way to do it later and somebody was trying to go through it in the summer or whatever. But, a lot of this stuff is happening across this period right at the end of a football season, and it gets to be pretty chaotic, and it's only going to get worse. As someone who's been doing this for a long time, I've never had to think about this stuff as much as I've had to think about it now in the work that I've done. I've been doing it for a long time, evaluating and working with coaches. It's a crazy time to be thinking this thing through, and you have to think about all the policies related to it, how you set people up for success as well in this. There's many more layers, I think, than the public understands when it comes to doing this stuff. So, we're gonna keep an eye on this. But I'm telling you, if they land him in Wisconsin, oh my goodness, this is how bad it was. I talked to my brother who is an avid Michigan fan. Those who've been watching know that he's good friends with the Harbaugh family. Grew up with Jim, tight. He was like, if Jim leave, I might have to come on over here to Madison. There's no reason for me to stay. This is a lifelong Wolverine. I mean, that's how that is. If people have been in Michigan Stadium when Ricky Foggy came in from Minnesota, it did the Pee Wee Herman on him when he scored in the end zone. I mean, it's gonna be that type of thing, going on in Madison if he come there. And he got his high school teammates, Ingram's son, who's always over there. So you just never know. So we only hoping. But damn, that's all you can do right now. I'm okay with the hoping. All right.
Okay, yeah, I want to say one thing about the not Matt Corral, but the Jackson Dart thing, the Ole Miss. I was thinking about that as a possibility, for him and for Caleb Williams as well. But I think Jackson Dart to Ole Miss, I think they'll make some noise. I mean, him under Lane Kiffin's system, and that kind of like up and down. RPO heavy style. They're really gonna make some noise. I don't know what you think about that, but
yeah. And this is the thing about it is, so this is the part I would love to have y'all tackle. Like, if I'm Lane Kiffin, I ain't leaving Ole Miss for nothing. Like, it's your opportunity to establish. He done been walk to the tarmac, right? He done been over there. Sometimes it's like, build what you can over there, and he's good, and you get some talent down there. I mean, Lane ain't messing around over there, and
he's
I'm
restless, dude. He's restless. His dad's
that's
the
the problem.
level.
Now,
He will be an NFL coach. He will be an NFL. Trust me, he will be. If they have to get a job, he's gonna be an NFL coach.
But I would, unless it was the NFL. Like he trying to be like Pete Carroll, which he probably could. I want to be like Pete Carroll. I want to redeem myself at the NFL. I could say that. I wouldn't go to no other. He done been to USC. He done the Tennessee thing. I'm like, look, Lane, you are in a place where you can, if you win a little bit, they gonna love you. And like you just said, Darnell, getting that kind of talent.
Alabama, if in Alabama, he could get Alabama's job.
But Lane is the one person that ain't scared of that. Like, he ain't scared of it.
That's what I'm saying. So my point is that he's gonna walk. I mean, this is a guy that left Tennessee after 1 year, dude. 1 year.
What I'm telling you is I wouldn't do it. It's fool's gold.
He's
probably gonna do it. I agree with you. He probably gonna do it, but I wouldn't do it. If I was his boy sitting next to him, like, man, you can do something right here. And if you just give them
Oxford
11-1
only has a
season,
certain ceiling,
you just
man.
get
You only get
Michigan.
you'll get top
Ole
10.
Miss,
You ain't winning
Ole
no
Miss
title
is
at
like
Oxford,
Michigan
man.
State. If you
You
just
say
give
you're
to
not gonna
Michigan
get top
State,
10 trying to Ole Miss?
huh?
No, I was
We
saying
said,
I was trying to figure out what Carl was saying.
what you said about that,
I
Carl?
don't think you can win a title at Ole Miss. No.
Oh, you say you don't.
You think you
Also,
win a
I
title at
think
Ole
you
Miss?
can't get top tier talent. I was like, I know they was cheating, but
No,
you
you
freezing
get
them. They was getting
that's
some
a
talent. They
title.
was getting
A
some
title.
talent.
I think
You get lots
you
of
get top
talent.
10
That's
talent
a
to Ole Miss. They
title.
already get top 10 talent. They get good talent
But
at
I'm
Ole Miss.
saying win a chip. You ain't winning no chip there. As
You
I'm
can
saying,
win
you
a
was in
chip
top 10
anywhere.
talent.
Look,
Not
you can
anywhere, but not
talk
anywhere.
to him,
But
youngin.
people will
And
say you can win a
Saban
chip
ain't gonna
at
be there that
Georgia.
long. Saban ain't gonna
People
be
will
there
say
that
you can
long.
win a chip at Georgia.
Yes.
You ain't winning no chip, especially with
What
Oklahoma
about
and
Auburn? Like,
Disney coming in. Oh,
you
heck no.
think you can
But
win a chip
You
at
ain't winning
Auburn?
no chip there.
I'm gonna tell you this. He don't even have to win a national championship. If he win
I
that division,
agree. But my point
if he
is,
win that
that's why
divisional
he
championship
wants to win
and
one.
he win an SEC championship every once in a while and go to that, he gonna be gold and get paid. I mean, I'm saying he
You
ain't
got
gonna do it
Georgia and
because people don't think
Alabama.
that
Come
way.
on, man.
But
And
I
Texas
agree
A&M.
with he.
Texas
They're
A&M had
always
the.
gonna be there. They're always gonna be there.
They
They
always
gonna
gonna
be
be there.
there,
And
but
Texas
they ain't
A&M,
gonna be.
you and
They
I
gonna
know
be
Texas
the
A&M.
one.
You and I know they crazy. Jimbo's the
Yeah,
right coach for them. Jimbo's the right coach for him. He know how to talk it. He know how to walk around it.
yeah.
Jimbo's the
And
right coach
Jimbo
for them.
got what number one recruiting class,
But
right?
you
Number
know
one recruiting
this.
class, right?
They crazy over there,
Number one recruiting class. They ain't winning no chip in Ole
and they
Miss.
ain't winning.
He will be in the NFL. They've
And
already
look.
they have clubs looking at him right now with back channels.
I'm
You know
telling
that.
I'm telling you right now. I know he gonna do it just because he can't keep his hand out the cookie jar. But if I'm him, I've already been to USC.
Might be
I
with
know what this is like.
Jerry. I can
I've
see him
already
with
been to
Jerry.
Tennessee.
He and Jerry. I can
I
see him with
got what
Jerry.
I got. I can do it the way I want to do it, and I'm going to do it from
I can
right
see him
here.
with Jerry, man.
I'm gonna do it from right here.
That makes sense to me.
Now, if Jerry Jones want to come over and roll the truck up, now I'm going. I go do that for 3 or 4 years,
He might do that.
and then go on
He
CBS
might do
or
that.
ESPN and chill for a while. I'm going to do that. But if it's another college job, there's no reason for Lane get kids to come down there anyway to the Grove, especially with this transfer portal. He can eat all day. He charismatic. He got the cool points. If I was him, but he gonna do it. He can't keep his hand out the cookie jar. You right, Carl. He can't keep. But I'm telling you, he shouldn't. He can't. He gonna be another
And then
tarmac.
all the owners
And he
recruiting.
gonna be
That's one thing
an
about when talking about
OC for
with
Saban
the
again.
portal.
He
And,
gonna go
and
back
Darnell,
to
will tell you about this.
rotation.
The portal, Darnell. Let's talk about recruiting.
Yeah.
Recruiting must be insane now with the portal. Think about that. I mean, it's already been onerous as it is if you're coming from the NFL mindset, but with this portal now, it's crazy. I mean, literally, you had, like you said, Jackson Dart didn't leave USC because he knew something was coming, and probably it's Caleb Williams. So
but it's all true. But it's because it works. You know why it works? Because you already got the AAU culture. It just all works.
Yeah.
So when you got the AAU culture, it works.
Recruiting. I mean, put it this way: like your guy McDonald, we know he's going to the NFL now because
that's what I'm saying. The one that done. Now
recruiting.
he probably saw this stuff and it was like, dang, I can't keep up with this. Now he going back to the Ravens. He probably like, this is too much craziness. I'm gonna go back to the NFL where I'd rather deal with grown men who got
and I have to recruit all day.
Yeah,
and be in basketball gyms. You gotta be in basketball gyms. I mean, you'll be in basketball gyms to recruit. Come on, man.
Yeah, some people like but some people.
I know they do.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, and Saban was up in there in the basketball gym. I'm like, looking. I'm like, in the basketball gym.
But they was all in there. It was Nick Saban, Matt Luke.
I know they were. I saw it. That's why I said to myself, the game has gotten fierce. You look at them in different sports. I mean, man. But
that definitely happens.
I know it happens. They look at them in baseball. They look at them on the track field. I know that.
Because they want to see how you compete. It's not just about
this is a war right now. This is a war, especially this portal. This is a war of, again, the best and the baddest. And so you gotta be able to get talent, and then, like I like what D. Will says, and have talent development all the same thing. Get talent, develop talent, cultivate talent. You got to do that. Make sure the pipeline in certain schools are there because these relationships can come back to help you in a portal situation like we're talking about with Caleb Williams. So you gotta be nimble about this. So yeah, I totally agree, but it's crazy though. I'd rather be in the pro level. I ain't gonna lie.
And so, and I don't know if he signed it. That that's why Harbaugh probably sitting there with that extension sitting on his desk because he knows he got to have certain things in place. Huh?
He got the extension, man. He played ball. He took his pay cut for underperforming from Ward, and then he came back to Ward like, show me the money. 2022, show me the money.
Yeah, I told you he was doing that a month and a half ago. No.
What is it now?
I said I told you he was doing that like a month and a half ago.
So Darnell,
but still, it's not. I mean, the Raiders situation is fluid. I mean, let's not lie about it.
It's still possible. Like he could. I mean,
and I think the Miami situation. I don't care what Stephen Ross says. That's still fluid.
So
I mean, let's say Jim Harbaugh calls you about I want to coach Tua. You gonna tell him no? Come on now. You gonna tell him no?
I don't know if that's a
I want you to stay in Michigan. But I want you to stay in Michigan, man, please.
So McDonald goes. What are we looking at in replacement if he going to the Ravens? Darnell, you thought you had some thoughts about a replacement.
I think it's either going to be Coach Klink, Steve Clinksdale, the new DB coach, or it could be Mike Elston. Mike Elston is a guy. He came from Notre Dame. He's a decorated guy. He's an alumni who played at Michigan. Those are two options they could go, or they could, go and try to get another DC from another school. Possibly try to, I don't know. There's names out there, but those are names you're looking at if you're trying to promote from within. And I don't know. Do you have any other names, like as far as people from other schools?
No, I don't. I mean, I was just when McDonald's like, wow, he just got here, and I felt like, he was giving him that kind of advantage that Leonard gives folks at Wisconsin. I'm like, this is a guy that is connecting with these players and building on, and I think continuity is important, and to not have that. So I was just kind of thrown back with it, and not quite sure, and then also with Jim, not necessarily committing at a time when you really need to be committing. When you got these kids in the portal, it seemed like a little bit of instability after getting here. So I mean, other than the names that you suggested, I really leaned on you on that. I don't have any direction on how they go on it, and the importance of these assistant coaches, as we're seeing at Michigan State and other places, to helping to bring in talent, because these players are these players have so much more information about who people are and what they can do for them. It just makes this recruiting, space so much different, right? In some ways, these players are so much more savvy around information, understanding those things than I know I was when I was their age. Even thinking about that because they have so much information. So these as you were talking about it, we were talking about Michigan State situation. Having, and we've seen this at Ohio State, having those, great assistant coaches who also have their own brand also play a role in this. So you get a person like McDonald who is building this reputation, right, that people are beginning to trust. That's an important part of your brand as well. So when you have something like that shake up, you gotta say, okay, are we replacing them with this because they really built that up this year, and that was really probably building momentum with them with the beginning to maybe it's not this upcoming class, but there might be that next class, because he's got that strength. So those assistant coaches become an important part of this because they're doing all these clinics, these coaching videos. They're becoming these gurus in and of themselves, right? Because they are the future coaches. So this is something that just is another layer of this whole kind of college football space.
Yeah, another thing, Mike Elston, he's put some guys into the league from Notre Dame, especially in the last couple of years. Especially at that edge rush.
I saw some names. You talking about Mike Elston, Jimmy Lakes, for somebody you're looking at. That would be interesting.
It's interesting because he was there with that Washington defense, but the thing about Jimmy Lake is between him and Pete Kwiatkowski, who was the real, you know what I'm saying, who was the real mastermind behind that thing? And
Yeah.
we don't know yet. Well, we do. We I'll say the evidence has not really showed itself yet. Because how many years was Jimmy Lake by himself? This is only a year without Pete, right?
Second year, yeah. This is second, not even
Whoa,
full year.
no,
You're
he
talking about
only had
Anthony
1 year,
Weaver,
right?
Anthony Weaver with the Ravens. Just poached the Ravens again.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
his background, so.
Yeah.
Elston was Clinksdale's. You were like I said, Larry Foote's another guy you're talking about.
Larry Foote will be interesting because he
Yeah,
got another.
because he's a linebackers
his
coach
name
at
was-
Tampa. He's shown, a great unit there. He could lead a defense. So yeah, so those are names I've seen. But no, it's interesting. But no, McDonald's out like shout. You say in the hood, shoot.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because next week is the not early signing day, but it's the actual national signing day is coming up next week.
Mhm.
So how is this going to affect what's going on? Because I don't know how many guys Michigan has that are really undecided, but this can weigh in on something.
Mhm.
And then
Well, they got him off the recruiting trail. That tells you they're sensitive to it. I mean, they got, they said the word was he was off the trail. Cats know he's off the trail. So, I mean, so they know they're going. They're not trying to shuck and jive and say Coach McDonald's going to Baltimore.
Well, they're not going to do
They
him like
fucking
Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz.
Yeah, he was at Temple for a hot minute talking about Philly and the great East Coast, and all of a sudden he's up in Miami talking about, well, we understand, man. He said, yeah, so, but man, now he's in Penn State, doing his thing. So, coaching linebacker in DC there, but yeah.
So
get another gig.
Let's move a little bit. So
Yeah.
I've turned on the TV, and LeBron gets a steal. He gets a second steal, and I was trying to get my orientation was kind of thrown off. Wasn't really paying attention. I almost thought we was in the Staples Center. The crowd was so loud for the Lakers in Brooklyn, and I was like, and so then, I hear Stephen A. and Jay Will debating it because Jay Will's getting a little salty that he was talking about, how the Lakers took over the Barclay, which was true. And at the end of the game, Harden you could tell he's frustrated. Man, what are your thoughts about Brooklyn?
Well, you can tell. You can tell it wasn't Staples Center because Kyrie wasn't there. Kyrie wasn't there.
Great point. Touche. Great point.
That's
cool. To see Kyrie. That's see Kyrie on the court. You're right. Man, hey, Youngin, what do you make of Brooklyn in that situation, and also with AD coming back for the Lakers? But let's go with let's talk about Brooklyn and their situation.
Well, as far as Brooklyn, it's predictable. I mean, you have 1/3 of the big three. That's he's a part-time player. I'm a big Kyrie fan as a player, but it is what it is. You got to call a spade a spade. I mean, he's hurting the team if he's not going to be out there. You know what I'm saying? You need that piece out there, and Kevin Durant is hurt right now, so that's
it's like if I was down, let's say in Florida, and I said, "Hey, Hammer and Darnell, y'all come on down, man. We gonna do this thing, blah 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 blah. Y'all do everything y'all can do. Y'all move heaven to earth. Y'all get down there. Y'all get there. Y'all don't see my car. Y'all walk in, and the house is kind of open. And y'all walk in the fridge. Y'all look in the kitchen. Ain't hardly any food. And all y'all got is a note from me, like, hey, enjoy yourself. I had to go do something. No food, no nothing. Y'all don't even have no traffic. I didn't leave no car for you. Y'all Ubered out there. It's like, what would you think of me, right? He invited them to the house. He's the reason why they're there. And then he's a no-show, man. It just kills me when I look at this. Hammer, I'll go. Let's look at the other side of this. AD comes back. AD look good
Mhm.
for a minute. You know, kind of do his little
Yeah, he
thing.
looking good. He looking doing his thing. Chi-Town. Shoot, hey.
What,
Gotta say, man, that's my home.
they played well.
He'll mess around and get hurt again, but
Yeah.
let's not talk about
He
that.
already
People
got
talk
hurt.
about,
He already got hurt again.
oh, you already got
That's
hurt
right,
today?
Glass
Okay,
Joe.
yeah. I ain't no surprise. AD. Sounds like MB, but go ahead. So, yeah, so.
Nah, Embiid out here giving him work. That is why he hurt.
He is
I
getting
would
to
get hurt
work.
too.
Yeah, 60 games a year. Yeah, I know. Again, he's an all-star, all that, all-pro.
Look, all these
Give me
cats
my
are low
old
managing.
school
All these cats are
82.
low
Give me my
managing down to about
82 or my
68
80
games.
at least. Don't give me no 60.
All these guys are low managing. What you think? What you think?
Man,
What you
that's
think? They
Embiid.
would?
That's-
All these guys are low
That's
managing down to about
Darnell's
60 some
generation of
games.
load management. I don't hear that.
He ain't low
Man, I want to
managing.
hear about intestinal fortitude and
He is
durability.
intestinate. You
and
see how hard he
sustainability. That's what I hear
playing?
about.
You see he opened court,
Yeah,
zero stepped
balling.
on,
I mean,
on Dwight Howard.
I
Like he was at
can't,
open gym.
dude, make it
Come
like I
on,
look
man.
stupid. But I'm just saying, I'm not
Your
questioning the
argument on
talent.
this
You
is
understand
so
that?
whack. Now, I
It's
got
not
to
whack.
jump in on this.
It's not
You don't need this.
whack.
I'm just going to tell
You
you,
want
this
I
argument
want
on this
durability.
is whack. You put yourself on
No,
whack.
it's not.
You on the wrong side of history on this one. Like, this ain't even close.
The
This
dude's
ain't
hurt.
even close.
Always hurt,
I'm just
man.
like, if I just
Always
don't want
hurt
you to go out in the
Embiid. That's
streets.
his nickname for me.
I just don't want you to go out in the
Always
streets.
hurt. Always hurt.
I just want you to go out in
hurt.
the streets and say this. We're just trying to say this.
I will.
Don't go out in
You
the
know me.
streets and say this.
You know me. You know
You-
me.
Somebody
You
scored
know me.
50 and 12, and all you can say is, "Oh, you know, he was
60
hurt
times a
early in
game.
his
I mean,
career."
yeah.
Like
You
that.
never do
That's
it
the
before.
kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff Celtics fans should be saying. You know, they hating so much. That's what a Celtic fan should say.
I'm a Bulls fan. And I like
know.
durability. Only time
hell
my
no.
favorite player right now, only time he's out is because of COVID, and that wasn't his fault. That's DeMar DeRozan. So the all-star, just the all-star starter on my ad. DeMar DeRozan.
Look, but when he start putting up 50
That's
and 12, like him, then we can talk.
Amazing. Like I said before, I would love to see him do it a little more times during the year.
What do you mean a little more time? Like we got
like about 10 more times.
He
You play 20 more games.
The playoffs. He done played in all the playoff games over the past couple years. Like, what are we talking about?
Man,
what are we talking about?
You low manage when you win a chip. He ain't won no chip yet.
He ain't even low managing.
Everybody,
I'm saying everybody. The players you comparing him to have low managed. Who you comparing him to?
But he ain't won a chip yet. He ain't won a chip yet.
A chip is the only thing about greatness. Like Karl Malone wasn't great. Karl Malone's not great.
Show me a chip.
Charles Barkley's not great. Come on, man.
The way this dude
That's
did.
what we doing now.
He didn't play no 60 games a year. Come on now.
You know how
a year, man.
I just said, keep that in here. Keep that in here.
Don't 60 games a year until the end of their career.
Darnell, I'm putting you in the corner. Keep that in here. Don't say that out in the streets too loud. I don't want to hurt yourself, man. Don't say that in the streets.
I'm saying
don't even
it
say that
on
in
the
the
radio
barbershop
show
in Chicago.
see me.
I'll dare you to say that in the barbershop in Chicago and see what kind of ruckus you bring up.
I don't go to barbershop anymore, but I'd say in the streets. I say the sports bar straight up. I say sports bar.
And they'll look at you like you crazy.
Before COVID,
they'll say, "What are you drinking?"
Mad smack.
And you'll say, "I'm Kyle B.
I'm drinking Diet Coke with a lime.
I'm drinking a Shirley Temple."
Diet Coke with a
like,
lime.
"You need to."
No,
ain't no way in the world. All right.
So in Joel Embiid's last 4 games, Joel Embiid has scored.
I know when he's done last 4 games.
Let it go. Let's hear it.
40 and 13.
Hold on. Let's hear it.
38 and 12 and 42 and 14.
I know what he's done.
He has played 36 out of
how many games has he played? How many games he missed this year?
36 out of his team's 48 games.
That's great.
I mean, that's like saying we can take sick leave. I mean, we take sick leave anytime we want to.
You're telling that those are great numbers in any decade.
I agree. That's
so,
my point is I read at the durability.
Those are plenty of games.
I read at the durability.
That's still durable. That's durable.
Not 75% games, bro. No.
Oh, come on, man.
DeMar DeRozan has played 43 games so far.
Most of it was because of COVID. You know that. So don't even think that it was because of COVID, because of outbreak on the
Durable.
team. The only times he missed
Stay in the house. Stay in the house.
Man,
Stay
he
in the
ain't
house.
staying. They stay
Are
in the
you
house.
committed?
You see,
You in the club.
man, he got
Stay in the
at the
house.
crib probably. Got
Stay
at
in
the
the
crib
house.
probably. You know
You would
what?
take DeMar DeRozan over Joel Embiid.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Oh,
Let the
you
record
crazy.
I would.
We done.
Okay.
We'll move on to the next one. We'll move on to the next one. I love
Because
you, man.
I know that
delusional.
I know that I wouldn't have no major injuries, and my guy would come. I was watching a shot chart because living in Shy, watch a shot chart. But listen one sec. With Jason Goff, I know you know about Jason Goff, local guy here, used to do ESPN. Kendall Gill, I know you know. And it was amazing to see his shot selection. Like I said, you just saw a number green in the mid-range. It was amazing to see his shot selection. But you get that about 75, 80 games a year. You don't get it 55 to 60 games a year.
It don't matter. But look, where's his team? Where's his team? Near the top.
Where's his team?
Where's his team? Is his team near the top of standing?
Watch it.
He ain't Kyrie. He ain't Kyrie. Hurt his team. Is his team near the top?
They're third now.
Hey, Joel
second.
Embiid played the playoffs with a torn meniscus and was still averaging 30.
What are we talking about, man?
I know that. My point
You're
is,
digging a hole for yourself, man.
Give me the regular season production. Give me Michael Jordan.
Counselor, you're digging a hole.
Newcastle, they won
regular season.
He was out 2 years. He was hurt during college.
Oh my goodness!
Regular season. I'm not talking about regular season. I'm talking about the playoffs.
The playoffs.
Embiid averaged 30 in the playoffs.
What we talking about, him?
He win a chip.
He can't win a chip when Ben Simmons out here passing up dunks.
Yes, it ain't him. It's Ben Simmons. Talking about it's too much. It's too much to be criticized in Philadelphia, and I can't shoot my jump shot in front of people. Simmons, and he's still putting buckets. He's still putting buckets with arguably one of the best players in the league missing. He's still giving them work.
He's a great player. I just would like more durability. I told you.
And yes,
I want my players durable.
And we all like $1 million in that bank account. We can't get it. Like when you want him at a certain point, other people have to give stuff to. He's giving you 100% of what you need. If you talk to Doc Rivers, he's done everything 80%. Doc asked him to do. Doc asked him to be more intense. Doc asked him to be not to be more serious. He's worked on his diet. He's done everything.
They'd be a 1 seed, and then they would have no trouble. They'd be a 1 seed for sure, and they have no trouble at all as far as. But
how much does that to do with Ben Simmons sitting on the sideline talking about I can't go to work?
Ben Simmons is trash.
So I'm saying if B is giving you everything he's giving you when his top guy ain't even showing up.
So I have a question. Would you rather have Joel Embiid play 70 games in the regular season and be at 60% in the playoffs, or would you rather him play 60 games in the regular season and be at 80% in the playoffs?
The latter, because playoffs, that's what matters.
And that's why they're doing it the way they're doing it. They want to make sure he's at his best when it matters the most.
But that's the lesser two evils, bro. That's like deciding.
But they do that for Kawhi. They've been doing that for Kawhi. Ain't nobody said that.
Kawhi won a chip, bro. They ain't nothing said nothing. They would have said something that he can win a chip.
That's how he won the chip.
He won a chip. I agree. He won
That's
a chip.
How they won it because they maximized it.
Show me a chip.
But that still means he was great. If he didn't win a chip, he'd still be great.
The one thing about, let me put it this way, I'll put a good analogy. If Aaron Rodgers didn't have a chip right now, what would we say about Aaron Rodgers? Now, that's already bad enough, not to change sports.
He'd be a great player.
He'd be a great player. What would you say about Dan Marino? How good is Dan Marino?
Oh, Dan's a great player.
If you had one game to win, would you pick Dan Marino? A lot of times you would pick Dan Marino.
No.
Hey, if you can have
who you scared of? Most people are scared of Dan Marino.
I picked Tom Brady, of course.
Most people are scared. People are more scared of Dan Marino than Tom Brady. Go ahead. What's that?
I take Ben over.
I said, would you pick Ben Roethlisberger or Dan Marino? If you said you pick Ben Roethlisberger or Dan Marino.
I take Ben all day.
Look, I'm a Steelers fan, And Marino's from
I take
Pittsburgh.
Ben all
I'm
day.
taking
dude.
Marino. If we
Ben's
had
gonna
Marino,
because
with
Ben's a
all those number
warrior.
one
Ben's gonna
weaknesses,
stay in the pocket. Look at that pass to Santonio Holmes, man. Brilliant.
you have
Look
gone and
how
watched
much
Marino
punishment he took.
highlights?
Man, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Highlights
I watched
of
Marino from the time he was in
when
college.
your biggest victory is beating the Bears so they won't go 16-0. That's your biggest victory. That ain't saying too much.
There isn't 5 quarterbacks I'm taking over Dan Marino.
Yes.
Especially in today's game. Imagine Dan Marino running the RPO today.
Oh my goodness.
Again,
I mean, we talking about Mahomes' arm angles and everything else. Marino was throwing stuff on a rope. We have lost.
Yeah, but he wasn't as athletic as Mahomes,
man. I think y'all his release, Marino's
and that's a bad analogy because in the second season,
and Marino was doing that
in the second season.
Hold on to
in Marino's second season. What did Marino do in the second season? What did Marino do in the second season? Went to the Super Bowl. What did Pat Mahomes do? Win the Super Bowl. Next,
but if you put Marino in,
let's go on the next. Let's go on the next. Let's go on the next. Let's go to the next topic. Let's go to the next topic.
If you put Marino with that team, he wins it.
Travis Kelce.
He wins that. You don't think Marino wins with that team?
You don't know that?
You oh my goodness. Carl, you have lost. My goodness.
You don't know that because again.
Oh my man. I'm not even arguing
Joe Flacco pulled out titles.
Man.
Come on now.
We're about to pull your NFL card. We're about to publicly pull it. And I hate to do that.
Yeah, a lot of people think
I'm like, I gotta pull your NBA card and your NFL card.
They're talking about, dude. They're playing people who are like me who want a durable player who is very talented. I'm not. I can lose my. If I said Joel Embiid was trash, then yeah, you would take me off the screen. You would block me from this platform. You would say you block me from the chat. You could not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's a great player who I would like to see play more games. Who I think would help his team win a chip if he played more games. He was more durable. That's what I'm saying.
But as a league, why are you making him bad?
I would like to see them win a title.
Analytics to get away from that with everybody. So why is it Embiid? Like they've run the analytics on this stuff. They are finding ways to rest guys. It's not just Embiid.
And they has the most reason to be rested. Larry O'Brien trophy, are they? Huh? They don't know. He's allergic to the Larry O'Brien trophy.
He's not allergic. He's young. And he's been improving every year. But everybody who wins the trophy, even Kyrie, look, you need a Van Fleet.
Joel Embiid is not 29.
Yes. And you need a Van Fleet. Look,
I've seen Joel Embiid is 1 year older than me.
26, right? 26, 27, right?
He's 1 year older than me. He came out the same year as Andrew Wiggins. They played
26.
Hammer. If it wasn't for Van Fleet waking up, they weren't going to win that. If it wasn't for Van Fleet waking up, they wasn't winning.
Van Fleet can ball. That's my guy too.
So you can talk about Kawhi and all this. He had somebody step up. He had plenty of cats step up. And when Van Fleet woke up, it changed the whole course of their trip. So you can't say that. So he's doing everything he's supposed to do. He need his Van Fleet. And his Van Fleet.
That bucket that Kawhi made.
He's still one piece away. That's what I think.
They have 6'11" cat.
That's getting rid of Ben Simmons.
If he had a little better jump shot away from winning it all. There's 6'11" cat if he had a little stronger mindset, but we saw it in LSU from winning it all. That's where they from. Like he can only do so much. At a certain point, even Michael understood other cats got to help you.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? So why we keep putting it on the star?
Because that's why you a star.
That's why Shaq talks about the others, right? We got to respect the others. And when you have those others who come, you can win. And he's been doing it. He's got a couple guys who's stepping up, but like you said, he needed another piece. So I'm not gonna hold him up to that. All right, we've been all over the place.
He didn't win until the others came. You know what I'm saying?
Out 2 years, man, please.
Okay.
So for
All right. Well,
durability, man.
one thing we didn't have on the rundown, we got to talk about because we haven't had a chance to talk about this, is the Baseball Hall of Fame selection. Big Papi made it in, and
I'm gonna make a lot of people angry now. So I'm Mr. Unpopular today, man.
oh
you know what
my
I'm gonna say.
goodness, where's Hank at? This might be enough to bring Hank back. This might be enough to bring Hank back. I got to send him a clip. I got to send him this clip we about to talk about. But we didn't have a rundown. But I'm like, we got to talk about this. All right, Barry Bonds doesn't make it, and then Clemens doesn't make it. You know, they got to wait for this whatever this other vote. And you got Big Papi over here. It is blasphemy in a sport that until recently recognized the Negro League, talking about ethics and integrity and everything of the game. A sport that had all other kinds of people in the Hall of Fame for other things. People who have all kinds of other things that have nothing to do with it, that are blemishes on the character of the game. If we're going to talk about character, I mean, baseball is the most hypocritical sport I've ever seen when it comes to this kind of stuff, and they are so far behind all this. And so, Hammer, I would give you an opportunity because I know you're going to make people. You're going to say all this stuff. I feel like Eminem, I just took that stuff away. Say something about me. You know, like in 8 Mile, I just said all the lines y'all going to say in case you're going to make it. I'm just making it before you make it, but make your case, man.
I haven't even started, bro.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
The case is that we're talking about the Hall of Fame, right? We ain't talking about the Hall of Shame, are we? And the bottom line is that you act like steroids allow people to recover faster. Stronger. You have people like Brady Anderson hitting 57 home runs. So don't tell me.
But what? Hold on. But was Bond a Hall of Famer before 98? If he had hurt his knee in 98 and gone on the ballot, would he been in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no?
Yes, he would have. Yeah,
what are we talking about?
He was a dynamic player.
Was Clemens before 98?
Before still, but that wasn't the case.
If Clemens had hurt his arm in 98 before whatever they say it is, would Clemens have been in Hall of Fame?
He would be on the Hall of Fame, no question.
What are we talking about?
As soon as they did the deal with the devil, they're in the Hall of Shame, not the Hall of Fame. That's enough said. That's my line. In the Hall of Shame.
I love
you
Big
can't
Papi.
have people.
But
I support
the issue with
the steroids wing. People
Big
know
Papi
the
have issue with
steroids era. You know it's my steroids era. So my point is that had the steroids wing that Buster Olney and people talk about the players who should be Hall of Famers, who did a deal with the devil to pad their statistics so that they could smear their careers, and they are the culprits. They are the reason why they're not in the Hall of Fame. It's not because of the writers, because the writers are doing the right thing because of the fact that they are dealing with the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Shame, and it's shameful. You have two people who are involved with criminal indictments related to their activity, related to baseball. We're not talking about just their steroids. Criminal activity with Balco, criminal activity with perjury, criminal activity with
We're
trying to minimize that because he's got a Hall of Fame.
Did we ever get a positive test for Bonds?
Yeah,
did we or did we not, counselor? Ever get a positive test for Bonds? Yes
Barry Bonds is. Well, let me ask you. With Barry Bonds' wealth, if he has steroid tests, he definitely should be Hall of Fame. He's boo-boo the fool because anybody with means can be a damn.
You did not answer my question. Now you are an esteemed, well-trained lawyer. I'm asking you a yes or no question.
You know that.
Do we have? Did he test positive in a way? Did we?
I do know somebody who did test positive. I do know somebody who did test positive. David Ortiz in 2003.
David Ortiz. Thank you.
Again, I don't support David Ortiz in the Hall of Fame.
But you did. But they did. These same writers who you say hold not the Hall of Shame, right? Got the integrity of the game, right? These same writers found a way to justify that. And I'm okay with it.
They're wrong too with that. That's why I would have nobody on
first ballot.
I know, yeah. That's
first ballot.
This is a guy.
They didn't make a wait. We gonna make T.O. wait. in
I know, a
football
one-way
for
player.
stuff we just didn't
Well,
like.
they like
T.O.
Poppy,
T.O.
dude.
ain't
They
never
like
took a
Poppy.
drug.
The
T.O.
popularity
ain't never
contest,
done
you know
nothing
that.
else. We make T.O. wait. In
I'm not
baseball,
supporting
we
Poppy.
got
That's why
we
I'm
got
being
we
specific.
got
I'm not
we
supporting
got
Poppy.
a test on record, and we gonna get him in, and
I
then
know that.
we gonna talk about.
I'm against Ortiz being a Hall of Fame.
So the
Then-
argument,
then how-
the thing is, the argument is not against you; it's against the writers that did.
It's against the writers.
Yeah, but
So,
the writers
what
are
I'm
wrong too.
And I'm gonna hop in here.
Hop in
Barry
there,
Bonds,
youngin.
if you took all of Barry Bonds' 762 home runs and made them outs, he would still have a better on base percentage than David Ortiz.
Yeah, we're not talking about David. David Ortiz should not be in the Hall of Fame. David Ortiz
Barry Bonds has
was
7
a
MVPs.
one-dimensional
What
player.
sport would a player have
That's just a
7 MVPs and
popularity
not be in the Hall of Fame?
What is it now?
I said Barry
What?
Bonds has 7 MVPs. How many players in any sport would have 7 MVPs and not be in the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame?
he has 7 MVPs because he was on steroids. Yeah, so I mean, it's qualified.
But how many
Well,
MVPs did he
won
have
like 4
before
or 5
'98?
before he was on steroids.
Yes.
We're not talking about. He decided again to
Come on, man.
cheat the game, be in the Hall of Fame, be involved with criminal investigations, be involved with drugs and performance-enhancing drugs that were illegal.
That's
that
all
were
speculation,
illegal.
counselor.
That were illegal.
But
And
that's
then-
the way
and then
Counselor.
that's
trying
the
to tell me
game
the Hall
was
of
in
Fame?
at the
Was
time.
there a conviction?
You got to go back. You got to go back in the same time period as well, because he was the best player in the whole league, and then while he was the best player, you had guys like Sammy Sosa,
before not
and
the
Mark
time
McGuire.
before you were
You had guys
before,
like Mark McGuire,
before
Sammy
you were
Sosa,
born. I remember he signed the contract with
to get up
the
and to pass
Giants.
him.
He
And
was
when
my
he
favorite
was,
player
and he was,
until
and he had
he showed up
even the
looking
playing
like
field. He had to even the playing field by doing what they was doing, and that's even if you say that he did steroids and he never tested positive.
Yes.
That's
So
tough
how can you?
because-
He could sue because you're basing it on what evidence, counselor?
man, he ain't suing for a reason. If he sued, he had to go under oath.
Because he shouldn't have to.
You don't think they have other
Especially when you
on
let
him?
Ortiz.
I don't support Ortiz being a Hall of
Everybody,
Fame.
if you
I told
let everybody past '98, you
I
should
support Ortiz
you
being
could
a Hall of Fame.
speculate
I
did
know about
something.
the positives. He's not clean either, and he was a one-dimensional player too.
So those same
I
writers that you say are
DH.
upholding, then how are they upholding it? Like, what's that? What do y'all say that illegal?
Because
Like,
it's a
y'all
popularity,
get the
you
fruit.
know that.
What's
Barry
that? The
Bonds is
poison
not
tree?
like-
What's the poison tree thing? You a lawyer? What's that?
Yeah.
For the poison tree, like
The fruits of the poison tree are deadly as well. Something like
that's
that.
right.
I don't
And
know
you
how
keep,
it is,
y'all
but
y'all
I'm
just
consistent.
drawing from
I
it.
don't think Poppy should be in the Hall of Fame either, man. I think people.
But it
there's some
happened.
People,
So since it happened,
I know it happened. Yeah.
then what?
Terrell
then,
Davis in the Hall of
then,
Fame. He
Then
should be
what
in the
are
Hall
we
of Fame.
using to evaluate?
Again, it's a popularity contest. We're using.
So if we're talking about performance enhancing drugs, even before the steroid era, you had guys like Ted Williams, even Hank Aaron was using greenies and
not
Yes.
with greenies. You can't compare greenies to.
We
you can't
no.
compare
The
We're
law.
talking about the period of the time.
We're talking
Still
about
gave
it.
you
Any
the competitive
enhancement?
edge against the people that you were competing against.
Yes. Any enhancement?
It's disproportional. The greenies.
No, we don't play
were
that.
just-
No, we're not partial.
Because
We're not partial.
They're not.
No, we're not. No.
Barry Bonds gained 50 pounds,
If you didn't drink
50
Pedialyte,
pounds
if you didn't
of
drink
muscle.
water, if you use
50
something
pounds of muscle.
that allowed you to wake
No
up
neck
and be a little
Barry.
fresh,
He went from skinny Barry, no neck Barry. Dude had
it
no
doesn't
neck.
matter if you
He
use
was
something.
using, so he
Hold
was
a minute.
using steroids.
I'm
Let's
glad
use
the
your logic.
writers did
He
what
was
they
using
did. I'm glad they
steroids
did.
against pitchers that were also using steroids. So
Yeah.
where's the competitive advantage?
Yes,
Yes.
Roger Clemens. Not
I'm
there.
saying.
Roger Clemens.
So where's the competitive advantage?
If they're both sides are using steroids, where's the competitive advantage?
Where is it?
The competitive advantage is that obviously Barry Bonds was eclipsing records and eclipsing. I mean, did you ever see? I mean, the dude they
I
walked
grew up
him
watching Barry
to go
Bonds.
on
I
first
was
base.
watching Barry Bonds when I was 4
I mean, his
years old.
on base percentage was like 800. It was crazy. I mean, they could not pitch to him because he was so lethal. And
They
then I
intentionally
like seeing
walked
him
him with the
play.
bases loaded. Barry
I know
Bonds
that.
was
They should have. That was Aaron
You should get
Williams.
in the Hall of Fame just because of that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You should get in the Hall of Fame
Exactly,
just because of that.
because the fact he was on steroids, that's why they had to
But
do
they
it.
were scared of him before
Okay.
that. I was a Pirates fan. They were scared of him when he was playing with Van Slyke
They
and
weren't
them.
that
They were still
scared.
scared.
He was in San Francisco. He signed that contract. That's when they really got scared. We showed with no neck and 50 pounds heavier and all muscle and not losing any speed. That's when they got scared. They're like, damn, we can't do nothing.
So
We got to watch
let's juxtapose real quick. Do you believe Manny Pacquiao is a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, of course.
So Manny Pacquiao moved up from 108, 112, all the way to 147. He fought Oscar De La Hoya at 152. So do you believe? Have you seen the way that Manny Pacquiao's head has grown over the last?
I think that definitely probably he's on some type of performance-enhancing drugs, but again,
he also has never tested positive.
Yeah,
so is he a Hall of Famer? I mean,
he's a Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned because Manny Pacquiao, his record and thing about he was not involved with criminal activities related to his.
Those are criminal activities.
Criminal activity.
Highlighted.
No, wasn't investigation in the Philippines. He's a lawmaker. Was not investigation.
But what was motivated by that? Some of that stuff was motivated by hate. We know something.
I agree.
Some of that.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
No question about it.
So
arrogance too. Yeah, I agree.
So and so we can't. We can't. There's not degrees of breaking the rules. You either broke them or you did. I don't care if you did the greenies or whatever. You did something to try to get whatever that man.
That's like saying manslaughter and murder are the same thing. Come on now.
But you still go to jail. You still get something.
But not as long. But not as long.
You still get something.
But not as
and
long.
And it's still a felony, meaning you can't vote.
Again, you can get pardoned.
It's still a felony.
Under circumstances.
Well, it's still a felony,
but different felony though.
But felonies are felonies.
Death penalty
when felonies get you, felonies keep you from getting things.
That's true. Unless
regardless of the degree, it still means you can't get in. If that's what we're saying. If we got that character clause. We have that character clause, right?
We'll see again. The old time committee might put them in.
They need to. They have like 67% right now.
At this point, I don't care. Like at this point, if Barry Bonds, Ryder Clemens, what credibility does the Hall of Fame have in general? Just like the NFL,
it don't have any credibility.
A lot of credibility. They're staying for what's right. That's a lot of credibility.
Hall of Fame.
Y'all wearing clown suits over there.
If you can't vote for Terrell Owens, then we don't.
Yeah, Terrell Owens got in.
We don't value if you don't vote for Terrell Owens.
The people don't value. We're gonna do our own. We're gonna do our
like Deion Sanders said last year. There should be a Hall of Fame and a Hall of Game. You know what I'm saying? there's people that can play and people that that the media likes. So
that's right.
Like Terrell Davis, perfect example. He should not be in the Hall of Fame at all. Terrell Davis, that's the biggest joke of Hall of Fame. A 6-year career in the Hall of Fame? Come on, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, we got off the rundown, but this was fun. I'm cool with this. We got to wrap it up. This was fun. Actually, I love just being able to get crazy. We know we're gonna have a big sports weekend here with the playoffs again, and we'll probably catch that next week. A lot of stuff happening there. We'll be paying attention to.
Yeah, we had Eric. We had Eric Weddle come back and show the youngins how safety is really supposed to be played.
Yeah, nice, man.
So we'll have a lot.
And Detroit Matt is winning, man. I can't call him Detroit Matt. I'm very happy for. Hope the Rams win, man. I hope the Rams win. I really like the defense, like Raheem Morris. Hope Raheem Morris he should get another chance to coach. I mean, the fact we got one black coach in the NFL is a debacle. Is a shame. I mean, it's not a debacle. It's fair racism. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And the black coach that wanted to get a job, they'll make him take Trent Baalke. Like, really? You'll make him take a guy that undermined the last coach he dealt with?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
my understanding, they've relented. Probably Roger Goodell got in there and they told Shad, like, Shad. Like, come on now, Shad. You already embarrassed yourself with Urban Meyer. Come on, Shad.
Yeah,
someone's getting to him because Adrian Wilson's going to be GM of Jaguars, and then That's gonna be a nice team of brothers. Adrian Wilson.
Adrian Wilson, a safety.
Yeah, the former safety. He's player development for the Cardinals.
Yep.
He's gonna be a GM. That's what he wants to be GM and get rid of Balky, basically.
Well,
so that's what he wants. That's what he wants to be his GM. So that's gonna happen, man. And then but I feel bad. Like, BM ain't gonna win these jobs again, which is sad, I think. So
we'll get into that. In our next podcast, we'll dig in a little bit deeper on that.
And two brothers named GMs. Brother Quasi, who Darnell talked about. This is a brother that came from financial world. And it tells you transferable skills. I tell young people, transferable skills, man. Just you need to know your heart, you know your competencies, but if you have transferable skills, man, you can learn the way. And so, Brother Quasi, I give him credit, man. That brother's
so we'll get into that a little bit deeper next week. And do it with the folks. Follow these guys.
Ryan Poles, my brother, Ryan Poles.
We'll follow these guys on Twitter, on Facebook, and I'm sure they'll be chatting us out. We're gonna drop the mic. We'll start with you, Hammer, and then we'll go to myself. We'll end with Youngin.
Well, yeah, drop the mic. I know what I'm gonna talk about. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to. I want to be positive and be a shout out to Deion's kid for the NIL. And it's amazing what he just did with Gatorade, and give a shout out to HBCUs and shout out to. I mean, again, people didn't realize back in the 60s and 70s, HBCUs were that's where the black players were at. They weren't at Alabama. They weren't until the money got so big, they had to bring these brothers on the team. So it's good to see HBCUs getting that equity back and getting chances that they didn't get beforehand. So I give Shadow Sanders the shout out as far as that Gatorade contract. That's amazing. The young man, 19 years old. And, Deion, like I said, I think sadly, I don't see Jackson State being a long-term destination for him. I think he might even be up in with the Cowboys. But as long as he's there, the fact that he's bringing some equity to, I think he'll be a trailblazer, and he'll allow, when he leaves, he'll allow for the HBCUs to get a better, a better chance to be part of the mainstream economy and NCAA, NAL economy when he leaves. So yeah, drop them.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say, Ben made it official. And, as a Steelers fan, I just want to say, Ben, thank you for all the years. I'm not going to be like Stephen A. Good, he said today, I just thank goodness. I'm going to say thank you for, giving it to us, being there, putting together, all those winning seasons, being able to kind of keep us in the mix as we were going. And, and playing hard every day you're out there, putting your body on the line. There's a lot of people can talk about it, but until you take those hits, it's hard. And so you did that every day. And now you got some time to just kind of get out and kick your feet up. And I know you're going to be there, supporting the Steel Curtain and the Steelers going forward. And hope that you enjoy that retirement life, man. Embrace it, have fun with it, and good luck in the next chapter of your life. All right, we're gonna drop the mic and going on over to my man Youngin to take us home.
All right, for my drop the mic, I'm going to talk about the Michigan State Spartans and the recruit momentum that they've been on. I mean, they've had 12. They have 12 4-stars in the next class that are going to be visiting the campus on Saturday for the Spartans Junior Day, which is at the basketball game against Michigan. And they have that. There's countless names of real talented guys that are going to be there, and they really had a lot of momentum lately, especially with the hiring of Brandon Jordan, who is he's a defensive line specialist. He trains NFL guys. He's worked with guys the likes of Von Miller, T.J. Watt, Max Crosby, Rashawn Gary. I mean, the list goes on and on. So he has that name and that credibility, and he's really been on his push in the recruiting circuit. And yeah, there's going to be it's gonna look a lot like Madison, either like Madison Square Garden or the Staples Center. You got all the stars coming out to watch the game. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be interesting to see who ends up in this class. You got guys like Dante Moore going to be up there. Cole Cabana. You got you remember the Dirty Bird, Jamal Anderson. His son's going to be up there. Just a lot of guys, and let's see how this turns out.
Well, he's running back? Well, I know it's Dag. I feel
Jamal Anderson.
What position?
He plays linebacker.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, this.
Right.
They got Harold Perkins in the building. Harold Perkins, a 5-star linebacker who just recently decommitted from Texas A&M. So he's going to be in the building on Saturday. So yeah, they're trying to make a move, and like they always say, Tuck is coming. And I'm out of here.
All right. All right. Thank you. Hey, y'all. Until next time, we'll see you on the other side.
Yes, today. Yes, today. As we start the show, this one mic. We hail. There is a pause throughout the stadium as this man sounds like he just coughs up a lung. Just looking around, the Jumbotron shows and pans the cheerleaders, and as it goes down each cheerleader's face, each one breaks up into laughter, which at this particular time destroys half the stadium. The other half is still trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Does this guy need CPR or something? And then at that particular time, I lost it. Devon Brooks. Yes, today.
Blog Talk Radio.
Show this one mic.
Phoenix is another place. They got a great training staff. They were able to breathe life back into Shaq. And you can do that. People talk a lot about their training staff.
Blog.
Yes, today.